Hello, welcome back to my channel. Well, today I just want to share with you guys how I make pap, as we call it in Nigeria, but I found out you can also call it corn pudding, from scratch. So here's some corn, Nigerian corn from my garden that I'm using. So pretty much you want the corn to dry out to the point that the leaves are very dark brown, and then once they're dark brown, you take them in, of course, then you peel them one by one. I found that it was easier to pluck them rather, or pick them when you break the cob in two. That way you have access to peel it off with your hands. Anyways, so next thing I did was save some seeds, obviously, because I wanted to do so for next year, to also plant some corn. Have a plant that keeps giving, right, year over year. Anyways, I saved some corn seeds for next year, and then I soaked the corn in water. This is not really the best video to show you exactly how I did everything from scratch, but bear with me. Anyway, so you want to soak the corn in water for 3 days, right? This is for my son, who is 7 months old. What I did in terms of soaking it with water was that I used distilled water because he's a baby, and every 24 hours I changed out the water. So this is me here pretty much just at this point it's past the 3 days, so now I'm cleaning out the corn, making sure every residue goes out, and I'm starting the legit process of making this corn. And that's just me taking out the extra little hairs. What do you call it? I've forgotten the name for it. Silk. That's it, yeah. The extra little silks that were left behind. And once I'm pretty much done with cleaning it out, I then blended it, which I'm going to show you guys shortly. Rinse, clean, sieve. Pretty much that's what's going on here. Now to blend. So pretty much how I blended is that I filled the corn, the container, the blender basically, with enough water, just I think slightly above this the height of the corn. I'm not really an expert, but from my experience, it was a little bit too thick. So next time, I'll probably put a little bit more water. But anyways, once that is done, I got a mesh cloth. I got that off of Amazon. I put a bowl. I put the mesh cloth over a bowl that I had some distilled water inside. And the reason why you're putting water in there is that as you're sieving these things that just blend, it's gonna collect the pap parts that you need. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But anyways, I guess you guys can watch what I'll be doing next. And the idea is that once I put it over in the sieve, I begin to turn, and then what happens is that I'm doing that, the part that goes through the sieve is the part that you want to keep. That's the part that's been sifted and will be used in making the corn pudding or the pap. So because this was my first time doing it, obviously everything isn't perfect. So while doing this, I realized I didn't put enough water on the bottom of this thing, so I had to eventually add some more distilled water. Remember guys, if you did this for a baby, use distilled water, okay? I keep saying distilled water just so you know not to use regular water, okay? Of course, you want to make sure you're using clean containers and stuff to make this thing. So pretty much, like, you could use your hand to like turn, but I used this, the little stirring spoon. And after I'd done that round, I had to do like three rounds of this. Then what I did was squeeze it out. Can you see at the bottom there? You can see the white, the white, not white. That's kind of yellow, and that's coming from the pap, the corn pudding. Right now it looks like water, but I promise you by the end of this video you're gonna see everything settled at the bottom. But pretty much what I did was squeeze out the water as much as I could. Squeeze. And by the way, shout out to my mother-in-law. She's the one who taught me how to make this corn pudding. my original intention was to use that video. However, it was just a lot of cutting here and there, cut join. It's just going to be too much work to try to put all the videos together to show you guys. So I ended up using this video instead, because I was just able to just smoothly record. Anyways, once I was done squeezing out the extra water from the corn that I had blended, that's what I had there. And I noticed, like I said, it was a little bit too thick. So I was like, you know what, let me get some more juice out of this thing, man. We need more juice. So I put some water again in there, and then I blended it. And I just basically rinse and repeat. You're going to do the same thing over and over again. And so that's pretty much what I did again. And I was able to get more substance from my little corn. You guys wondering how many corn I used to make this? I made about three corns. Okay, I don't know, 3 corn cups, whatever, 3 corn on the cob. That's how you say it. That's what I used to make this for my son. And the first round we did with my mother-in-law, I think it lasted a couple weeks, because I don't give him every day. It's like a substitute to take his baby, what do you call the thing? Baby cereal. I don't give my son baby cereal, man. I've heard all kind of things about it. So either I give him oats, like adult oats, which he doesn't really like. I blend it, or I'm just giving him pap. He loves this corn pudding, guys. So something you want to try out yourself, I suggest you do. Anyways, and again, there's nothing so as great as just knowing that something came from something you made from scratch. Not just from scratch in the kitchen, but also from scratch from the ground. Ooh, yeah. This is a seed that I grew from baby, okay, to adult, and here is the result here. So I'm so happy about this. FYI, guys. So the residue, this is this part here. I heard that you could do some stuff with it. People eat this, by the way. They use it to make some kind of other stuff. I didn't go into that that part, trying to figure out what I could do in terms of recipe and stuff. I didn't have energy for that. If I had chickens, I would have given this to my chickens. Okay, that was like, I wish I had chickens at this time, because I heard you can give it to your chickens too. So pretty much what you want to do with that, if you have chicken, listen, dry it out and give it to them. Okay, I didn't have chicken, so I had to throw it away. Poor me. No, reach me in Jesus' name. I'm not poor. But I do intend someday, people, I'm going to have my own little farm that will have chickens, that will have ducks, that will have bunny, because I need the bunny compost. I do need it. Anyways, back to this video. This is just the same thing, guys. I don't want to bore you with this, but pretty much, if you want to watch. So at this time, I'm pretty much rounding up the whole process. And as you can see, it's very yellow right now, all over the water right there, right? So what's going to happen after you leave it for a couple hours is that the pap, the corn, is going to settle at the bottom, and the water is going to change to clear, right? Transparent. Not exactly clear, but it's going to be transparent. That's when you know it's ready to put in away. Now, what's the best way to store this? You have 2 options. You can keep it in the fridge. I think for weeks or days. I'm not really sure how long you can keep it in weeks, because it doesn't end up staying for too long when I keep it in the fridge. But the thing about putting it in the fridge is that every day you have to change out the water. Whereas if you put it in the freezer, it just stays frozen there until when you need it. And I couldn't really exactly get how many months you could keep it in the freezer for my mother-in-law. You can keep it in the freezer for many months. You know how African parents could be. Anyways, the point is, by the time I'm done eating it, it will still be good. So I don't have to worry so much. But pretty much what I did was I took this into the fridge and I let it settle. It was, as you can see, it was settling already, but I left it for even longer. I left it in the fridge, and then in the morning, I used like can you see right there? I used like a spoon to scoop it out and put it in little containers for my son. So that way, I'm not defrosting it every time. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, if you're going to try this at home, do leave a comment below. And if you found this helpful, let me know. Till later. Bye.